Hi, and welcome back to We Try You Buy. So you bought yourself the Osmo Pocket 3 DJI camera, and I bet you love it as much as I do. Well, I have 6 accessories that you must have. Check them out. Okay, so the first accessory I'm going to show you is this waterproof sealed diving case. So I did have a GoPro and I ended up selling it. It was pretty old, so I upgraded to my DJI camera and it's not waterproof. So I had to come up with a solution, dug around a little bit on Amazon, and I found this one. So I did give it a try in my bathtub. Haven't been out on vacation yet. But I did test this out underwater, just the case itself. I did have to weight it down with a brick so it wouldn't float up to the top. But I gave it a 10-minute test underwater just to see if there's any moisture at all coming through the seal. And after 10 minutes, it was completely dry inside. So after that, decided, well, let's put the camera inside. So we put the camera inside and gave it a test run as far as the buttons working, making sure to turn my camera on while I was underwater. How the image looked while I was underwater, if it was murky or hazy or anything like that, and the quality was great. I would say you really couldn't even tell that there was a case over it. It looked like some pretty good footage underneath. I just used whatever I had around my bathtub to take some footage and kind of move it around and test the focus and how clear it was, and it did a great job. So very happy with this. I'm going to keep it. And it's going to work great for my vacations when I go to the ocean. So some other things that I like about this sealed diving case is that it came with these attachments. And these are pretty common attachments for any type of camera. And so, once you attach these to the bottom of the case, you're able to click it to a arm attachment, a chest attachment. Sometimes you have backpacks with attachments where you could put your GoPro. Well, same thing, these attachments will work to that, so you can click it right onto your chest, walk around and film. So yeah, I like that it came with those attachments. So the next thing we're going to try out is this floating hand grip. This will actually attach to my case. It has, I don't know what you call those, but those little GoPro attachments where you can attach something similar to this into. Many different functions where you can wear it on your head, on your arm. But in this case, we're going to use it for this floating grip. And without this floating grip, the case itself, it does float with the camera in it. The only thing I'm worried about is if I'm in the ocean, my camera goes overboard, it's going to be kind of hard to see this clear thing floating in the water. So I wanted something nice and bright. This grip does come with, and let me unscrew the bottom here, but this grip does come with a tripod. Now, once attached, this tripod wasn't really sturdy with the camera. I'm sure it'd be better with like a GoPro, but this thing is, the DJI is kind of long, so it kind of has that awkward balance. But it would work, just maybe not in windy conditions, and you kind of got to set it just right. But what I love about it is these accessories fit into the grip itself. And even though it's weighted down a bit, it still floats with the camera in it. So that's a plus, of course, because I don't have to have a different little bag to carry all these accessories in. So I'm going to keep the case, and I'm definitely keeping this handle grip. I also like that. Once this grip is on the water case, that you can adjust the angles, and if you're snorkeling, you can move the grip how you want it for that perfect angle that you need. And just if you're using a tripod, you may need a different angle. So I do appreciate that we can get different angles with this grip. It also comes with this cool little wrist grip, so a little added support. Maybe if you're ziplining or something and you want to make sure if you lose your grip on it, your camera doesn't get lost into, I don't know, a forest underneath you or a lake or whatever you're ziplining over. So having that peace of mind of, if I let go of my camera, it's still going to be attached to me, so that's a good thing. So I appreciate that accessory also. All right, item number 3 that I'm going to show you are these lens and screen covers. So you may have not thought of it, but this is kind of an expensive camera, so you want to protect obviously the glass that covers that, and you don't want any scratches on the lens for sure. So I saw these, said, you know what, I probably do need these, or I should have these. So I picked them up. This pack comes with 2 of each. It has 2 lens covers and 2 screen covers. And, you know, the typical wet wipes and dry wipe and sticker guides. If you ever did a screen cover on your phone, same thing. These fit perfectly. Can't even tell that they're on there. Went on easy. First try, no issues. They weren't the flimsy glass. It was the thick glass, so real solid piece. And just lay it on, and it seals itself. So it did a great job keeping these, and we'll probably order more if I need to down the line. They do seem pretty good quality, so I don't think I'm going to have to order more anytime soon. All right, the next item that we have here is our Amazir magnetic case. This will clamp onto your camera, and it gives you the ability to attach this to a magnetic surface. So, you know, once we take it out, it comes with an Allen wrench. It comes with 3 peel back, sticky back magnetic plates or metal plates that will attach anywhere you put these plates. So if you are doing filming in a place that you use often, you can use those to hold your camera for you. It does have this little button right here that you can press in, and it releases the magnetic plate. So you can move your camera up and down depending on what angle you need to insert your camera. There's these 2 little nodules right there that you squeeze together, pops open, and then you just place your camera to line up with the holes for your joysticks or your buttons. Close, make sure you hear a click and a click from both sides, 1 and 2 right there. And there you go, you have a magnetic holder for your camera. So like I said, this comes with 3 plates. So you can place these plates anywhere you want after you peel the sticky back off. Obviously, once you peel, it's going to be pretty much a permanent place. But, you know, you can attach it to your fridge. You can attach it to a light post outside. Anywhere that is a magnetic surface, throw that on there, and you got yourself a tripod without having a tripod. What I thought was also neat about this is it has those, for, I don't know the term, but you know, the GoPro fittings, so you can connect this to your chest or your arm, or if you have a head harness, attach it to your head harness, I guess, if you're going through caves or whatever you may need it for, zip lining. And what's cool about them is they're not going to break off because they do bend and they lay flat when not in use. So I thought that was a cool little feature that they had. Also leaves the opening open so you can charge while it's in this case. So they did think of a few problem solving things when they created this. I do like that it's a double lever down here to make sure that this is closed and securing your camera into place. Yeah, so overall this is a good product, so I'm going to keep this. Seems pretty well made and should last, so excited to have this and be able to use it for the first time. All right, so next up is this Amazir LED light for the camera. It is an adjustable light. I was really surprised on how easy this clipped on. So basically, you know, the round flat surface on the back, it just pops over the top of that. And as your camera swivels around, it follows with it. So I thought that was kind of cool. It charges with this USB port cable. The light itself will be red when it's charging and it does not have full battery, and then turns green once it's full. So that's a plus, so you know when it's ready to go. It has an on-off switch back here, and I don't really read directions often, so I was a little confused when I switched it on and nothing was happening. But then after, you know, messing around a little bit, realized that once you touch it on the front, it goes to, you know, different colors, as 1, 2, 3 different modes, and then off. Charge port is on the back, and like I said, when you turn the camera, because it's attached to the swivel, the light stays with it. So that's a very cool feature that I liked. And when not in use, like I said, you could tap it off, or hit the off switch. That way it doesn't pop on and waste some battery if you accidentally touched it. So I'm going to be keeping this. It's lightweight, folds down pretty tight. Yeah, so it'll be easy to travel with and will come in handy when I'm in a dark area. All right, so the final item is this Pel King big bag of accessories here. So there are a lot of things in here that we're going to go through, and then I have to decide if this is an item that I'm going to need, or I guess multiple items that I'm going to need. If these things are actually going to serve a purpose for the type of filming that I do. All right, so this is a 4-in-1 set. So we're going to start with these pieces right here. So this is actually a chest clamp. And what this is a little bracket that slides over the bottom of your camera like so. And it will clip into these pieces that actually slide in and out. So there's several, comes with several. So you just slide one in there, lock it into place. And if you ever worked with, most items like a GoPro or other cameras, most of them have the same setup. Thread the bolt through, it tightens it up, and this one's actually on a swivel. Okay, so it swivels around, so you would connect it to your backpack and like so. So you could travel around with your camera on the front. Now my backpack actually already has a GoPro connection that swivels around, so I really don't need the clip itself, but I would need that bracket that attaches to the bottom of the camera. So if you already have something like this, then obviously you could just attach it directly to your backpack. And like I said, mine swivels already, so it'll lock into place how I need it. So little handy tool if you need something to attach to a backpack for a chest-mounted item. All right, the second item in this kit here is a chest mount. So if you don't have a backpack, but you still want to attach this to your chest while you walk around, well, you just throw on this elastic strapped chest mount here. We're going to use the same bracket that we used on the last one, and we're going to attach it to another clip, and it has those flexible fingers. They're just going to slide into your bracket, locks into place. Again, it's on a swivel, so you can swivel it how you want, and you can walk around and film while you're walking. Don't really have to be worried about someone trying to grab and run because this bracket locks it into place pretty tight. And yeah, so it feels pretty safe. Don't feel like I'm going to get ripped off by someone running by and grabbing my camera. All right, item number 3. This one I found to be, kind of weird. I could only think maybe if you're traveling through a cave and maybe you need it for that. But again, you're using the same bracket on the bottom of your camera, putting on the same clips, and it just locks onto your head. So it's probably easier to do it without it on, but there you go. Don't know if you can see, but attached to your head. I imagine this being, walking through a cave and you need your hands free. Maybe you got your light attached to the top. It does sit kind of high, so obviously people are going to notice. If you're in a low area, like again, a cave, you might hit the top. So not really sure when I would use this. I probably never will. And if I return this whole package, it would be mainly because of this. I don't think I'll ever use it. I wouldn't use it ziplining. I'd just be afraid that these straps aren't tight enough, and if I hang upside down or get twisted around, it might fly off and I'll lose my camera. Cave is the only time I would think about this. I really wouldn't want to walk around town with that thing sticking on top of my head. It'd look kind of weird. But maybe you can maybe have a use for something like this and it'll fit your needs. All right, the next one we have is this necklace or this neck wrap. So it has this foam backing that this wishbone slides into. So that foam kind of keeps that wishbone in place, plus gives you a little bit of comfort on the neck. Again, you're going to use this bracket on the bottom. So again, you're going to use this bracket on the bottom of your camera. And this is actually going to slide right into this neck piece here, or this necklace. But yeah, make sure everything's tight. It has 3 different swivel mechanisms on it, so you can move it all around, pretty much fit any angle that you're going to need. And another option, instead of a chest mount, something that you can easily take on, take off, not as secure. It does wobble around a little bit, but not too bad. But definitely not as stable as that chest mount would be. But, you know, for the most part, does a good job of staying in place. And then you could tighten each one of these little bolts down to make sure it stays where you need it. So a good option, I think much better than the high up on your head option, but yeah. Like I say, it comes off easy. Don't lose the little foam piece. Yeah, I think it works. Okay, so I did say this was a 4-in-1, but it did come with this 5th piece, and it actually wasn't part, or it didn't show as being one of the pieces when I ordered it. And it appears to be like some kind of wrist strap. So it has a Velcro fastening. You can go around the wrist, and then it has this extra support strap to really lock it down nice and tight. And then again, you're using the same bracket. Pretty much use this bracket for almost all the accessories here. Tying it down. And now I have a camera that, you know, moves up and down, swivels left and right. And I could walk around like this if I wanted to, and now I have it attached to my arm. I could tilt it up and film this way, I guess. So I'm not really sure when you would use this. I feel like it would be weird trying to, you know, point the camera and swiveling your body around, trying to do this kind of thing to film. But it did come with it, and you could always attach it to, you know, a pole, I guess. I guess those are a couple more options you can use that for. But for me, I really don't think I would be using this much, if at all. But it was a 5th piece. I don't know if it was an accident, but it came with mine. It was in the packaging with all the others, so I don't know if you'd get it too. If you did, 5th bonus piece. Arm strap. All right, so as always, I hope you enjoyed this review of all these accessories. All the links are down below, so if you saw anything that you liked, including the camera that everyone's falling in love with, the links are down below for Amazon. I do make a small commission off anyone who purchases off my links. Not much, but every little bit helps. Again, thank you for visiting We Try You Buy. See you guys next time.